Alright, we are live in 3. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Washington Wrestle Talk podcast. I am your host, the heavy metal Jesus. In fact, I got my hair all tied up back here. In fact, we're just going to go like this. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can see the stream okay. I'm still working on the issues with the video camera and the lighting system that I just got. So I got everything that I need to set up this, more epic streaming experience before too much longer. The only thing I'm worried about, though, is, the reflection of things off my glasses. So let's get right into it. I'm going to get my special guest on the phone here for today's episode. Thank you for joining me wherever you may be, whether you're listening to me on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Lord knows where else. And if you're watching this stream, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, you can always become a patron on my Patreon, Washington Wrestle Talk, patreon.com/Washington Wrestle Talk. I can't even talk. I also want to say hello to my 2 patrons. One of them, of course, wishes to remain anonymous. The other one, of course, is the one and the only Mr. Hans Vanderkill. I do have to say hello to my Brew Crew family of Leather Jacket Guy, Levi Rip Jeans, Johnny Hollywood, Irish Paul, the Irish Jesus, Elga Hall, Elga Fox, and of course Unica Dominica, Tricky Troy, Heatwave Dave, Running Joke, Sergeant Wilkie, Interpola, Shania Wayne, and anyone else I may have missed. And also I want to say hello to Kat and Delight in Pittsburgh. Thank you so much, guys. So, let's go ahead and get our guest on the phone. We do have some questions for her sent in from you guys. So if you guys have any questions that you want to send in, go ahead and email them to me at washingtonwrestletalk@gmail.com, and you'll get them read on the air. And I just want you to let you guys know, I unfortunately had to let my 3-hour plan lapse. It was a matter of finances at the time, but now I have a 3-hour plan, and I'm hoping to upgrade back to the 5-hour plan here this coming Tuesday. So let's go ahead and get her on the phone here. She says she's at full bars, so let's find out.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Welcome to the Washington Wrestle Talk podcast / Washington Wrestle Talk live stream on YouTube right now.
All right, awesome. Well, hello, everybody out there.
Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. So,
all right, in podcast land.
So, of course, I told you...
This is my first time, podcast version.
Well, like I told you, this is, unfiltered, uncensored, so you can say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. In fact, I'm about ready to show the streamers here what I have in my hand here. It is a local, believe it or not. It is called Tropic Heat. It is a guava habanero coconut sour ale. Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
No.
Oh, you're just letting me talk, huh? I see how you is.
Yeah, but I'm listening to let you know what you're saying.
I see how you is. So, my first question for you is, how the hell are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing real good. I'm done with work for the week. I feel awesome right now. Got a couple energy drinks in me.
Wasn't it little Mini-Me's birthday? Or a birthday party, from what you told me earlier?
No, it was my 22-year-old's birthday. And, we just took him out to Point Burger Bar.
Yeah, that's a Mini-Me. That's a younger version of you, basically.
Actually, no, that kid don't look nothing like me. He looks just like Ed Sheeran.
Oh, Lord.
But Ed Sheeran's not his father.
I had to take my hat off here for a minute. And of course, if any of you missed the live stream, you can always go back and watch it later on and see, how things went here. So, right out the gate, first question that listeners have sent in. I have a question from a gentleman, if it loads up. It was sent to me yesterday from a gentleman named Lou. And his question was, what professional wrestlers have influenced you the most in your career, and is there a wrestler's career you'd like to emulate?
Right, that's a really tough one, because I've been a fan of wrestling for so long, that when I started doing, the erotic wrestling videos, it was my first exposure to actually doing the wrestling myself. But I would say that I probably drew a lot from, a lot of different wrestlers that I watched throughout my life on TV. But I know that when I was younger, I really looked up to Lita, and I wanted to be like her if I ever had a chance to wrestle.
Well, that's a pretty decently good answer there. My next set, believe it or not, and I can always thank Clement for sending in questions. He's a longtime listener to the show, one of my really good friends here. His first question was,
awesome.
How did you get involved doing pro wrestling?
Okay, actually, a producer found me on a website and wrote me, I had like some pictures posted after I started doing CrossFit, just a little posing and showing off. And he liked what I saw, and he noticed that I had wrestling listed in my interest. And he asked me if I wanted to learn how to wrestle. And it was, my dream come true. It's something that I'd always wanted to do. But by the time I got my head out of my fucking ass and, actually was looking into doing it, I thought I was way too old. I never thought that I would be doing it, starting at the age of 38, and it just goes to show you can always live your dream, even if it's not the original dream you intended.
Yeah. His next question was, who was your toughest opponent?
My toughest opponent?
Yeah,
I would probably say Safa Wada. She's really awesome. We put on like a really good match. When was that? Last year? Around in like February.
I think he was more asking about the pro wrestling, if you've done something like that.
No, I've never done like any professional wrestling.
Okay.
Video stuff.
Okay, so just the video, yeah, because he was asking about, toughest opponent in pro wrestling, but Saf has been your toughest opponent, and that kind of strikes a chord with me, a bad taste in my mouth. Long story. And his final question, what do you like to do? I think he meant to say but he said, what do you like to do on your free time?
Oh, like during my free time, I love doing CrossFit and lifting weights. I love to read and write. I love nature documentaries and history documentaries, especially anything having to do with like dinosaurs or other prehistoric life. Just chilling with my friends, burning a little 420.
So,
and really, that's just about it.
So now it's time for my questions, and I asked the hardest hitting, grilling. Ooh, grilling sounds good, actually. If you can't tell, I sort of have like ADD on the airwaves. I'll be saying one thing and I'll be like, "Ooh, squirrel."
I mean, that's fine because I have it also. in general.
It's pretty much a persona.
So if I jump off topic or go too long,
it's
me.
So. What companies? I know you've worked for Leather and Lace because of course, it's in your name. Curvy Knockout. Is that the
Curvy Girl Wrestling?
Curvy Girl Wrestling, yes. I've seen.
I mean, pretty much like anything that shoots at Leather and Lace. Over the past 2 years, I was probably involved in some way with it. For the most part.
And I know
because I'm pretty close. I'm local. I can drive in.
And I know you did a shoot with Clever Brave, who was a guest on the show in the early days.
Yes, I did.
In the early days of the podcast, when I was still running the podcast off my cell phone and not off my computer like I have been doing. But yeah, she was awesome. Now, is there any production companies / studios that you'd want to work with?
I mean, pretty much like anywhere that's local, because due to my full-time job, I can't travel for this.
Now,
it's like it's not like a source of primary income for me. It's just something I do on the side because I love to do it.
Now,
so pretty much like if anybody is willing to come and shoot here, I will work with them as long as they honor my limits and whatnot.
Now, are you familiar with the company Hit the Mat?
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, they actually have a pretty sweet setup in Van Nuys, California. But a virtual who's who of, competitors in this industry have, gone there and, filmed there. And you've have, I know there's been, Christy Etzel, who's a really, really sweet person. Vixen Romano, who's a absolute awesome friend from Montreal. Mutiny. Let's see who else. Clever actually did some shooting there. Feisty Feminista, which I have to get a hold of her for see if she wants to do an interview when she's here in Portland this week, next week. I don't know.
I know I'm recognizing all these names off of social media. I've only worked with Clever.
Megan Jones. Of course, Jennifer Thomas, Allie Parker, and it's funny, I had a chance to meet all of these, wonderful, wonderful human beings, at the Session Girls event last year. And that was probably my longest podcast in history at 8.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And I was on the 3-hour plan like I am now, and the cool thing about this platform that I have, Spreaker, I can, stop this episode right here, right now, and then start up a whole new 3-hour block, but just keep the phone call going, and that's what I did when I was down there. It was really fun until, of course, I was supposed to have a match at the event, and pretty much everybody who's been on the show and who's listened to the show knows what happened. I was supposed to have a match with Delight De La Cruz, who's from Pittsburgh, and I made the stupid-ass mistake of wearing all black in Southern California in the month of June.
Oh,
damn. I was burnt to a crisp on one arm, on the top of my left arm. That was it. And I'm like, how though?
That was the part that was in direct sunlight.
Yeah, but no, my whole body was in direct sunlight. It was just my left forearm. But I got this crazy idea about an hour before I was scheduled to go on to power walk to a 7-Eleven. and get Rockstar Recovery